Right, look, guys, you're watching the Geek Somewhat, and today we're talking about The Legend of Ruby Sunday. I've just finished watching it. This first time reaction. Oh wow! Here's my review, and the build up to this episode was a slow burn, honestly. But the reveal, the villain, spoilers, click off if you haven't seen it. Sutekh. Oh my god. Sutekh, the god of death. Absolutely, yes. Fun fact: this is a classic Doctor Who monster from Tom Baker's era. The Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane actually met and dealt with Sutekh. I'm pretty sure I vaguely remember mummies as well being Sutekh's like minions. But oh my god, I need to watch that episode again now. I think every Doctor Who fan does. I vaguely remember as a kid. I don't really, so I need to check it out again. But I do know this is a classic villain, and obviously the build up to this episode was very slow. With the villain, of course, something has connected and embedded itself within the TARDIS. Turns out it's Sutekh, and obviously the trap of Susan Triad. Who is she? And the Doctor believing and potentially falling for the trick of actually it could be the Doctor's granddaughter. A classic villain teasing the Doctor with his past. That was cool. Also, the oh my god CGI of, is it Sutekh on the TARDIS? Is that it? Because he looks obviously a lot different to what he did in Classic Who, but we have a lot more budget, so I guess it is him. And if so, I dig the design, and also the minions that he has. The Susan Triad turned into this creature, and Harriet turned into this creature, and they look creepy as anything. Honestly, this is the most. I'm not scared, but it's the most scary villain we've had in this series so far, with the minion aspect. They look cool, and they look. Obviously, if they touch you, you turn into sand, dead, finito. But I do like the build up to it, but I just felt it could have been revealed a bit quicker. But obviously, they were just going for the cliffhanger. They wanted this episode to end on the cliffhanger. But they did the music of the dun and I was like, wait, the Master? And then they mentioned the Trickster, and I was like, oh yes, Sarah Jane Adventures. Let's go. And then they did another reveal. What was it? Oh yeah, the Toy Maker and the Maestro, of course. And they did another god name and stuff like that. So yeah. Also, now we're going back to it, Mrs. Flood, a minion of the suit of Sutekh potentially, because we've seen her break the fourth wall within the show on Christmas Day. She was like, "Haven't you seen a TARDIS before?" and winked, and then that's how the episode ended. But then we've seen the fourth wall break again, obviously with the Doctor and Maestro within the show. But it was we're continuing to break the fourth wall in this season for some reason, which we never really do properly. And not this consistent anyway within the show. So that's interesting. We broke the wall again with Mrs. Flood going, "The one who waits is coming," and looking directly and talking to the audience, which is a bit like, oh, okay. But obviously, Mrs. Flood probably works for Sutekh then, or is she something entirely different? Also, she's being rude to Ruby's grandma. Come on, leave her alone. She just wants a cup of tea, and I love that dynamic. But also Ruby in this, my heart bleeds. Her not getting to see her mom, and that just eager thirst to try and see who it is. But the Doctor, he's done this before. He's done this with Rose. He's done it with other companions. He knows he can't break this. He can't break time. He has to play the rules by the book this time, especially with fixed points in time and stuff. So he's trying his hardest, which means to go to this time window, use the tape, and we get to see the footage, you guess you could see, of Ruby's mom dropping off Ruby, because we can't land back there and use the TARDIS because obviously paradoxes, problems, it's not good. So obviously using this technology of UNIT to try and do that with a time window was cool. It was totally different because it's like it's putting a lot of obstacles in the way of you just using the TARDIS and going back in time to see the mom again. You know, you can't do that. You've already landed there once. You've wasted that time to do that again. So they've put loads of obstacles in the way for you to do that, which I like. It's like it is making it challenging, and it's building up. Yet again, we still don't know who Ruby's mom is. But Ruby is trapped now with another soldier in the time window in her past, so we'll see what happens there. We also have the Doctor with Susan Triad, who is now a Sutekh minion, and the Doctor just know it's Sutekh who's coming. And then we have the TARDIS with Sutekh climbing all over it and warning Kate Stewart and the unit soldiers that they're all gonna die. He is the god of death. And all our characters are separate. All our characters are separated. All our characters are in threat and danger. This did feel like a classic Doctor Who story, and it ends brilliantly with a "to be continued," which gave me 2008 vibes with like series 4. So there was a lot of nostalgia in this episode. The music on this was really good. The Doctor not crying in an episode, because the Doctor, yes, all men should be able to cry when they need to. All men should be able to show their emotions. But obviously, it's a bit on your nose when you're crying every episode. He was gonna cry, but Mel stopped him. Which is nice and refreshing for a change for Ncuti to not do that. Because if he's crying every episode, when you get to a certain point where you need to cry, how is the audience gonna just, feel that? If you're crying every episode, they're going, oh, he's off again, So I'm glad that he kind of held that back. Maybe at least until next week's episode where he can let it go because it's the final episode of the season. But this build-up of Susan Triad was really well done. With missing adventure stories that we didn't actually get to see. We didn't get to see Susan Triad as this robot form. We didn't see this Susan Triad as this alien. So obviously we've seen different variants of this Susan before. But there's some added ones that we haven't actually got to see as an audience, which is interesting. Which also sucks, because where are them adventures? We're fans. Why are we not getting this? But the voice of Sutekh definitely feels like the Beast Below. And I know for a fact Ncuti's favourite episode was the Beast Below. So maybe this is a nice parallel for him. And Russell added that in there. But also, the guy who voiced the Beast Below also voiced Tom Baker's Sutekh story. So this is the actual original Sutekh voice from the classic era come back, it feels like. I don't know if it's the same actor, but it definitely sounds like it. So I don't think the technology's made it look like that, but it definitely does. It sounds like Sutekh. It sounds like the Beast. And also, it gave me that Toby voice, that way that people are getting possessed sort of thing. So it's very cool. Very interesting, and Unit looks brilliant in this, and I love that we brought Ruby's family involved, the foster family, because obviously as a foster person who's fostered, I was fostered, and we haven't really had that with Bill Potts. She only had like one-off episode, and this is Ruby's family, and we haven't really seen the foster dynamic that much really. I felt. So I'm like, yay, getting some representation, getting a bit more interest about it. And I think that works as well. That's something I wanted to say. Out of 10 now. What should we rank this story? It's the first part out of 2. And I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's good. It's really good. It's better than average. 8 is good. But it's not amazing because this is all just set up. This is just setting up your characters all in different positions. There's a setup of all the characters knowing this is the big bad of the series. And this is set up. But it's set it up really well. And that's why it's getting an 8 out of 10 from me. I'll be watching the second part of this story in cinema. I will be finishing work, watching this again because they're releasing this in cinema, and then they're releasing this final episode at midnight. So I'll be watching that in the cinema and then coming home and doing a reaction to it. So I'll give you my experience of being in the cinema as well as reviewing next week's episode. Stay tuned for that, and as always, I'll see you guys in a review very soon. Thank you guys for watching, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Have a good day. Also, we do Marvel, Doctor Who, Rick and Morty, really place to be for a geek like me. So join Johnny. I'll see you guys in a video this soon. Have a nice day.